are you going to flunk me if I quit your class? And he asked me why, and I said, because I believe you're a communist. I don't want to be in your class anymore.
Hold the mic up to you.
Oh, thank
They
you.
can hear.
And he said, are you going to flunk me? And he says, no, I'll give you a D. I shook hands with him and I said, I'll see you later. And that was before the Kent State shootings in 1970, and which I think the guy was a part of. The Lake County Coalition, Liberty Coalition, core values, I love every one of them. Love every one of them. And try to live every one of them also. Oh, I'm sorry. And try to live every one of them also. I have this bio that I wrote, so if you'd like to read it, they're back there on the table, so that you could know me. And 5 minutes, 10 minutes is not enough for me anyway. I've been a salesman for 27 years, and I'm not short of words, and most of them are down here. But I'm having trouble juggling papers. I'm a candidate for this position because there isn't a day goes by that I don't think about my grandchildren and my children growing up in a communist nation. And I believe it with all my heart that that's where the left is trying to take this country. And one of the reasons why they don't like the Tea Party, one reason why that you hear of guys like La Tourette taking $8 million from George Soros is because they're jealous. They don't know what they're doing. And this wasn't in order of the speech, but this bothers me that the Democratic Party has the far left and the progressives and the Occupy Wall Street people. And they're all violent. The Republican Party has the Tea Party to pick on for some reason. We're kind of the far right of the Republican Party. Nobody is complaining about what's going on with Occupy Wall Street and whatever they do. They're even trying to blow up bridges in downtown Cleveland. Nobody's complaining about that, but for some reason, some cowards in Washington who are in the Republican Party are bad-mouthing the Tea Party. And I hate that. Because we must be getting under their skin. They're afraid of us because they know we have the message. We have the high road and they don't like it. And that's one of the things I wanted to say. I want you to really take the bio and read it because it's going to explain a lot more about what's on my heart. I'm just going to drop all this stuff because I'm struggling with it. There's something back there also called America, Where Are We Headed? And I wrote this in the last 2 months, just revising it. 13 times I mentioned the name freedom and liberty, constitutional rights. And I want you to read it because it tells you also how I think. I want you to know that I'm running for this position, and I would appreciate your vote, and I'm putting out a lot of information so that you know the real me. And I'm deeply committed to this country, and I hate to see it where it's going. Can I just read this? If not, then it's going to take me 5 minutes. Feel free to grab one of these back on the table. A democracy cannot exist as a permanent form of government when the voters discover they can vote themselves increased income and benefits from the public treasury. From that moment on, the majority always votes for candidates promising them monetary pay increases and benefits. Thus, those who rob Peter to pay Paul will always have Paul's support. A democracy always collapses over a pervasive, lousy fiscal policy and widespread corruption, and is always followed by a dictatorship. The average of the world's greatest civilizations before they decline has been 200 years. These nations have then followed this sequence. From bondage to spiritual faith, from faith to great courage, from courage to liberty, from liberty to abundance, from abundance to selfishness, from selfishness to complacency, from complacency to apathy, from apathy to dependency, from dependency back again to bondage. This is a paraphrase of Alexander Fraser Tyler's Cycle of Democracy, written in 1770. Whether you're conservative or liberal, our nation too will collapse from a pervasive bad fiscal policy that will seriously affect all of us, no matter our political affiliation. More importantly, it will have an ominous, devastating effect on the future of our children and grandchildren. If we continue in our apathy by naively thinking our wonderful America will always be our wonderful America, we are denying a soberly imminent reality. Our incredible country is being dismantled brick by brick, freedom by freedom, before our very eyes. NSA, IRS, Affordable Care Act, Benghazi, all scandals coupled with lies, cover-ups, and incompetency. They are called scandals, which is corruption, whenever public officials lie to the American people and lie to Congress. Yet the silence of Americans is deafening. We desperately need to preserve all the constitutional rights our veterans, liberal and conservative, bravely fought and died for throughout American history. Did 1.2 American veterans die so we could be free to become a socialist Marxist state? Millions of veterans, both liberal and conservatives, were tortured or killed in battle to preserve our freedoms. Are we allowing it to slip away? These brave men and women paid for our freedoms with their blood, limbs, and lives in long tours away from home. We have an obligation and a moral duty to them and their children to fight to keep this country free here at home. They served overseas. The least we can do is fight for our freedoms here on our own soil. I hope you agree. Tea Party patriots are insulted and called names by national political leaders. Why do they make their disparaging remarks? What could possess them to talk this way? We are exposing them by shining light on their dark agenda of leading America into socialist communist statism. They are afraid of us and are attempting to discredit us. We obviously are a threat to their unsavory ideology. The far left agenda of massive, bigger government, less privacy, less freedom, and the Tea Party agenda, Ohio Liberty Coalition agenda, minimal government, free enterprise, maximum constitutional liberties for everyone, are polar opposites of what the left believes. The liberals have the progressives and Occupy Wall Street to the far left. The conservatives have the Tea Party to the far right. The Democrats are not fighting their left wing. Yet the Republicans are fighting to destroy their far right wing. Why? I believe the entire Democratic Party has become the party of the far left. The far left liberals have already won their party over, and the far right leaning Tea Party has not won their party over yet. Approximately 70% of all Americans from all parties think our too big and too intrusive federal government is going in the wrong direction. So this battle should actually be bipartisan, as more freedoms are for everyone. When does giving people more freedom a downside? When does it hurt to set people free? Except prisoners, of course. When does it hurt to set people free? Even if they're in Iraq or Afghanistan. It never hurts to set them free. The Tea Party is not about just the right, and it's not about just the left. The big picture here is it's all about freedom. It's all about liberty. Just like Lake County Liberty Coalition, it's all about liberty. It's all about freedoms. Without the liberties to speak the way we need to speak and want to speak for or against the government, without fearing reprisal, that's liberty. If we're afraid to do that, we're done. The Tea Party is not about the right or the left. It is all about minimum government, equal opportunity, fiscal responsibility, and maximum liberty for everybody. Our battle is political and spiritual, not physical or criminal, so it should be nonviolent and diligent. I talked to the man in Tea Party in Portage County at a meeting, and he was about 80 years old, and he fought in the resistance from Hungary, when Hungary was a communist nation. And I wanted to bring him tonight, but he would have taken a half hour, and I wouldn't have been able to say nothing. But he was even more important than me, because he was fighting in the resistance in Hungary. And I asked him, I said, did you guys have guns? He said, no, we didn't have any guns. And I said, how did you do that? How did you overthrow that communist government with no guns or anything? He says, well, that was rather easy. I'm getting the hook here. But he says, we just went to the police and told them that this is a political battle, and it's not, and we're not